get a lot of questions in my comments regarding people having issues with the fence on the Kreg benchtop router table. Now, sometimes it's hard to understand or even explain on my end what I think is the problem or the solution you're asking about. So I'm going to try to go over really quickly how this locking mechanism works and possibly something that can troubleshoot it for you. If this doesn't cover your problem, feel free to ask me in the comment and hopefully I can figure out what your issue is and I can respond. But this should solve a lot of the problems people are having with the fence, assuming they didn't get a defective model or something like that. Now, the way this mechanism works is it essentially uses this handle to move this bottom part up and down, which will just pinch this inside of the slot. On the table, you have the two holes. These slide through, then you push it forward, and when you turn this, it pulls up and down on this bottom part right here using this top piece has two notches on it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to make sure if you've got it and it's new and you're having problems, that this top piece is aligned with these inside notches. It can come, let me see if I, there we go. It can come out and come loose, and it will then not be able to lock properly. So check the top here and make sure that this is sitting inside of there. It has to be inside or else it will not engage and turn the entire mechanism. Now up next, this is three parts. This top handle, this middle part, and this bottom part. These slide in and out on the middle part here. These need to be in alignment. If those are not in alignment, there's a bolt inside of here. You're going to need to remove this bolt, align all of these, and put the bolt back in. You obviously don't have to take it all the way out. It just needs to release this bottom piece, so then you can turn it and then screw the bolt back in while you hold them in place together. Now, this is just done with a simple Phillips head screwdriver. If you are at a point where you got this and you're unable to get it to slide through, it's probably just too tight. Take your Phillips head screwdriver, grab the bottom of this, hold it, and just loosen this bolt. It's a little tricky. It's a little hard in there, but you can loosen it like that. And I suggest actually getting it a little too loose so that it's a little floppy and doesn't lock down all the way. Slide it in there, and then from there, lock it down and tighten it. And that will allow you to get the appropriate pressure that you want. It's much easier to do the adjustments when it's locked down in the table than here. It's a little awkward having to grab this. But that should solve most of your fence issues with sliding back and forth and getting it. It's usually because this is too light, too tight, too loose, or this handle is not engaged in between these two little marks right here. It may, just due to the packaging and handling, be kind of floating on top. It's got to slide down and engage. So once you've got this loosened up some, right, we need to have both of these handles turned towards the user's left. If you have them turned to the right, it will have pulled up both of those pieces and you will not be able to slide. It's got to be user left. You are then, once you've got it loose enough, going to just slide it in there. Now these cannot be all the way to the left. It's a little finicky. They need to sort of be at, I guess, what I would call 1030, and then just a little wiggle in there and you'll get it in there. If these are all the way over here, it will not slide in. Got to be at about 1030, 11 o'clock. You can see right there, and I just wiggle it a little bit. Now, if you're too loose again, lock it down. This is the one I loosened. Lock it down, and then hold this down and just tighten this a little bit. Go a little bit at a time. Check it to make sure that you can do it. And I actually like to just grab this fence and see if I can move it. I like this relatively tight, to be honest. I like just that sureness in the back of my head that it's not going anywhere. But if you do it too tight, one, it gets really hard to loosen and tighten when you're moving it. And two, it can actually force this plate down if you have the outfeed side slightly above, like I think is the appropriate way, so that your piece doesn't get caught. It will ram it straight down in there, and then you lose that nice little hill ramp exit. So hopefully that covers the issues. If you're still having issues, and try to describe it to me, I'll see what I can do. But it's a really simple mechanism. It's just pinching it onto this table. There's only three parts, and it's all manipulated by this screw in the middle, assuming this is lined up. Just remember, these have to be at about a 10:30, 11, somewhere between 9, 10:30, 11 to get this in there. It will not go in if they're all the way that way. And obviously it will not go in if they're all the way tight. Thank you. Have a good one.